Please summarize the main arguments in your presentation.
Well, today I've been talking about the constitution drafting process in Thailand. As many people know, there was a draft constitution last year that was rejected by the National Reform Council. We then had a new constitution drafted. Why is it that it's been such a challenge for the NCPO to come up with a constitution that it can work with, and that only after making a lot of very proactive suggestions were they able to produce the present document, which really in many ways is a throwback to rather more authoritarian constitutions of the 1970s or perhaps earlier.
What is your outlook on the current state of Thailand?
Well, I think now we're moving beyond the constitution process itself. What's interesting is the prospect of a referendum on the constitution, currently scheduled for August the 7th. What I've been arguing is that it's going to be very, very difficult for the NCPO to get the result that it wants from this referendum. We know that in 2007, the referendum was passed by 57% to 42%, which is not a great margin. But in 2007, people were overall much happier with the regime, with the leadership, and with the draft of the constitution itself than they are with the present one. So last time we had very strong support for the draft constitution from a lot of people who thought it would help us to get back to some kind of normal electoral politics. Now that kind of illusion has been rather shattered, and we see opposition to the constitution, even from those people who were initially quite sympathetic to the coup, from the Democrat Party, from the people who supported the PDRC protest movement. So I'm afraid that once we move into a post-referendum scenario, things are going to be a lot more difficult. Either the referendum will see the constitution being actually rejected, which is really very possible given the sentiment against it, especially in the very populous north and northeast, or it's going to be passed with a very small majority, and then it will be very hard for the NCPO to claim that they have restored national happiness and achieved unity, because the splits in the society, which were evident before the coup in May of 2014, will clearly still be reflected in that result. So I'm predicting a change in the dynamics of Thai politics after the referendum result, which is going to make the military look a lot less invincible, a lot weaker, and a lot more troubled than they currently do. And they're going to have to find some ways of adapting to that. You know, in most countries, if you propose a referendum and then the government of the day does not get its way with the referendum result, the leadership of that government would have to step down. I'm not suggesting that would happen immediately in the Thai case, but I think the NCPO could find themselves damaged or even in the longer term fatally wounded by the outcome of this referendum.